Hey guys, here is another French delivery. And under the heat of summer, I want to focus today on campaign building and one way to structure the society within your world. Of course, a little disclaimer here, I'm not saying that this is the ultimate way to do so. It is just a source of inspiration. You may do as you want to build your own world. Here is just a proposal. So without further ado, let's dive right in. When building the world of a campaign, people usually create the gods and the structure of society separately. When I say people, it also includes pro games such as Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. I'm not saying that this is wrong. The Forgotten Realms are a fantastic setting. Usually, society is based around common beliefs, may it be gods or concepts like freedom and democracy, or the concept of free market. And too often, we see a medieval setting with kings and nobles and knights and clerics, but all the deities are not consistent with this structure of society. We see, for instance, the gods of fire, the gods of darkness, which are cool concepts, I must admit, but which are not consistent with the society. It is fine to have such a world and it can be very fun, but let's try something else. After all, the purpose of my videos is to look at RPGs from different point of views. Let's take a closer look to the thesis of a French researcher named Georges Dumézil. This guy lived during the 20th century and he was a linguist. He made comparisons of religion and society between all Indo-European civilization. So, this guy looked at every religion and society structure of every antique civilization. This is a crazy work. And when comparing those, he discovered a pattern. All Indo-European civilization follow this pattern in the way society and religion are structured. His thesis is that religion and society are not only mirrored, but can also be divided into three functions. The first one is the sacred function, the function of law and order and of authority. This role is usually devoted to clerics and priests. They define not only morality, but also the way of life. They decide when to pray, when to work, when to offer gods, etc., etc. This function is mirrored by the gods, and the Greeks had Zeus, the god of gods, who represented authority. The Nordic pantheon had Odin. The Indian pantheon had Yudhishthira. The second function is the protection duty, the warfare duty. All the people that could fight and defend the people. Think of it as the Roman citizens, or soldiers, or even the knights of Middle Ages. The divine counterparts are gods like Ares, Athena, Thor, or even Archangel Michael. The last function is linked to prosperity and birth-giving. It includes people like peasants, merchants, and of course women in general. And usually the deities revolving around this function deal with fertility, peace, beauty and love. It is the case of Freya or Venus, for example. So here we are. I really briefly described the thesis of Georges Dumézil and his work, his lifetime work. So of course we are only scratching the surface, and if you want to learn more, just go and read his books. They are really interesting, but sometimes really hard to read, as you may imagine. But for our purpose, what I said is just enough. We have another way to build our campaign by linking gods and society. We have another inspiration when building our campaign. So, in your world, you may have different patterns, different functions of gods and people in the society. Dumézil's thesis can be an inspiration for you when building your own world, and you may come up with deeper and more inspirated deities instead of just elemental gods. So that's all for today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to subscribe, share and leave a comment and all that kind of nonsense. And until next time, have a wonderful day. See you later.